Hey, Ross's Rowdy Bees here. Hope you guys are having a rowdy day. Just out at the apiary, checking on some hives. This time of year, there's not a lot of nectar. In our part of the area here in Texas, northern part of Texas. So there's not a lot of food source that the bees are bringing in. They are bringing in quite a bit of pollen, but they're not able to bring in a lot of nectar, and nectar is, an important food source for the bees. Now, if you were talking about feral bees, so just some wild bees that had taken over a structure and have a fully established hive, most likely they still have some honey left over from last year, and they're using that as their food source. It's carried them through winter, and they still have a little bit left over, or perhaps a lot left over, to maintain themselves until they get into the nectar flow here in the area. But what I do with my bees, because I've extracted quite a bit of honey out of the hives that I had, so now I've got to find a way to feed them until we get into the nectar flow. Once we get into the nectar flow, they're pretty much set for the remainder of the year. But one of the things that I do, and a lot of other beekeepers do as well, you can probably hear the noise of the bees buzzing around me right now. Probably can see a few even. But one of the things I do is I feed them leftover honey. So once I've extracted the honey from the frames, there will still be some honey remaining on those frames. And one of the things I will do is feed that honey back to them. So as you can see here, I had quite a bit of honey left over. This is actually a lid to a hive. I had some frames stored, and some honey had dripped onto the lid of that hive, and they're cleaning that up really well, as you can tell. And you can see there, and there's a lot of bees on there. There are a lot of bees. And then the other thing I've got going on here are frames. So I've got some frames here that had leftover honey on them. And as you can see, they're really enjoying eating the honey off those frames. Now they're going to consume a lot of this honey that they're taking off, and they'll also probably store a little bit of it as well, because there's some other feeding methods that I'm using to keep them going. But they absolutely love the honey, and if you have honey left over from harvest, that's the first thing you want to be feeding them. That is the preferable thing to be feeding honeybees. Imagine that, feeding honeybees honey. Who would ever thought? But this time of year, if you've got a garden, if you've just got some nice trees that are blossoming, you're going to most likely see some honeybees around. And if you've got something sweet sitting out that has sugar in it, maybe even sugar water, or you've got a Coke can sitting out, or soda can, that will most likely attract the honeybees as well, because they're really looking for something that contains that sugar in it. But this is just one of the things that beekeepers have to keep an eye on, because if you extract all of your honey and you leave nothing for the bees,
well, you've got to find another way to feed them. And if you don't feed them after you've taken all their honey, then you risk starving your bees, and ultimately you start losing hives. And you can see the bees are really enjoying this. Kind of reminds me of your pet dog in a sense, right? They just can't get enough of that treat. And these bees can't get enough of this honey. But anyway, just wanted to drop in here, kind of show you how we feed bees, and to show you that we take a lot of pride in caring for our honeybees. Honeybees are treated like our family here at Ross's Rowdy Bees. But anyway, you guys have a rowdy day. Don't forget to subscribe and like our YouTube channel. We're trying to build that up now, and would be very happy if you guys would follow us on YouTube. By no means am I a professional video operator, recorder, if you will. But we do have a lot of passion for honeybees, and we hope that you find some education in it, and perhaps even find some passion in those videos as well for honeybees. Remember, don't spray honeybees. Don't spray honeybees. Find somebody that can remove them alive and care for them like we do. There's people out there. But you guys have a great day, a safe day, and a rowdy day. God bless. Goodbye.